about that healing from daddy issues.
We could do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
a big one.
Yeah. I still got a Band-Aid on that boo-boo.
I still got, I don't even know.
That shit is fucked up. Right. Oh, I don't even know where to begin.
I don't know.
I'm like a bird. I had to fly away.
How am I sounding?
Oh, no.
I had to fly away. I had to get away from that shit.
Listen.
He's like, 2 years ago, didn't know you had male friends.
You know what?
Wait a minute. Let me finish.
That was the shit.
I found out you're still hanging out with some of them. Hell yes, that was the shit.
Listen, talking about fucking daddies. You fucking daddies out.
Let's talk about healing from daddy issues.
Black girl daddy drama.
Ooh, Ashley,
Look, right?
Ooh. Go write it down. It's gonna be the title.
Black girl daddy drama. Cause them niggas make you be like, played you like a trick, cause you let them hit. Took you to a room and you gave it up too soon. I got all your love, baby. Don't try to take it. You wanted a piece. You were mistaken. Yeah.
It'd be your own fucking daddy. Okay.
Damn, your own family.
Damn.
What Ashley said.
Listen, daddies. You know, there's so much we can say about it, you know.
Daddy.
But before we get into it, you guys, welcome to the motherfucking shit show. Welcome to Black Women Heal. Okay, got the ladies with me. I'm 5 out of 5. Monique, your host, Black Women Heal. Say hello to the people, y'all.
What's up? What's
going on? We're back.
Hey, family.
What Tommy Davidson said, he said, "Did you miss me?"
Miss me.
Yes. We're back.
Listen, we're sorry, you guys. We didn't have an episode last Wednesday, but you know, such is life. You know,
life happens.
Going on. Lot going on.
For a lot of us,
it was a lot, and
It was a lot.
The ladies held it down for BWH 2 cents and holding it together in New York and gaslighting episode. We hope you guys like it. A couple of you guys came just on Instagram to tell us your thoughts about it. So we appreciate you for the engagement. That was some bullshit. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh gosh. But yeah. So today, guys, thank you for tuning in. Rocking with you girls week after week, episode after episode. And we are no longer just putting the tip in. We are family now. Okay. We have already surpassed the 90-day mark. Okay, we love you guys. We appreciate you for tuning in, and shout out to New York, Atlanta, Seattle, Denver, Colorado, and Washington DC. Top 5 cities for the month of July. Thank you guys.
Hey fam.
Thank you guys.
Yes.
We appreciate you guys so much for rocking with us. So today we're talking about daddy issues, y'all. Have we healed from them? We still got Band-Aids, as some of the ladies were saying before we started recording. What's going on, y'all? These daddies, what's going on? With my daddy. Beyonce said. That's what she
Right.
said.
That song was a little creepy though. Like it was a little creepy, but I was rocking with it at the time.
Creepy.
Yeah.
I didn't have that type of connection. So
right, I didn't have it either. But it was
creep fest.
It was creepy, but it's also amazing when somebody else that don't have the same experience as you is beautiful. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I can respect that, but
well, Ashley, people like us anyway. Though, what you always say, Ashley?
Case by
case basis.
Okay.
And I think that's why it resonates with some, and the other ones is a bit too much. For me, It was really touchy for me because of the lyrics. you can hear the passion and the love for her father that she had. You know, I don't know what's going on now. You know, it's been some scandals since then, since 2001. But you know, that's neither here nor there nor our fucking business.
Okay.
We're gonna move right the fuck on along. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I
Right.
really
And we're
hope that we can do better as a community, because there was a point in time where it was unheard of and embarrassing and shameful for a man to leave his pregnant wife, girlfriend, betrothed, whatever, high and dry with a baby.
Facts.
Nowadays, this shit is a fucking fad and it's trendy to be single dads and single moms, and it's no shame to nobody, but it's like people would rather be single doing this shit than doing it together. I don't know, and it's unfortunate because the only people that really suffer is the children.
Right.
When they don't have their father in their lives, or the father half-asses it, you know, or vice versa, the mother half-asses it. It's a lot.
Yeah, because it definitely shows up later.
Absolutely.
Yeah. In your romantic relationships, yeah.
Like everything, business, personal, and you try to figure out how to have a relationship with yourself. It's like, how can you expect to have a healthy relationship with yourself if you don't go ahead and try to address what the elephant in the room is? It's like, that's, for me, that's step one. Don't listen to what everybody else is saying. Figure out who the fuck you are, you know, at your core, what the issue is, and then start working your way out. That's just, you know, common sense for me. But, you know, common sense is a superpower. It's like deodorant. Everybody should put it on, but they don't.
Common sense is not common.
Right.
Okay.
They don't put it on. Walking around smelling funky. Like, you smell that? No, you smell that. That's you. Like Martin be doing. You stink. Don't baby, don't bother. Stupid. But yeah, get to know who you are at your core. Start there. Step one. Step one of one. Figure out who you are, and then go ahead and proceed to the issue. That way, when you go and start trying to delineate what is what, it won't be as an attack, because you're mad as shit. And got to imply some emotional intelligence. Be like, okay, I'm not being attacked. I'm not going to attack. I'm not going to be defensive. I'm trying to come to a conscious decision of, how did I get here? How can I fix it? Because I am my own problem and my own solution. And then, like I said, then you move forward. Step onto the escalator. Keep all your hands and feet on it as you proceed to go up. If you get stuck, you get stuck. I mean, shit.
Yeah. I think but see, people don't know where to start if they don't know the loins from which they came from.
Okay.
Exactly.
And that's the major thing, because we as parents, it is our fucking responsibility for them until they go out to the world, or until they go off to college, or they want to move to New York and become an entertainer, or whatever the case may be. Like, we are not taking fucking responsibility for how we fucked up children's lives by the decisions that we've made.
Okay. Speak on it.
Like, at all, baby. Okay?
Right.
Like, it had to get to the point where I stopped blaming my father for not being an affectionate woman. And that's the flip side of this shit. Like, because once you realize that because of this happened, but then, okay, what the fuck am I going to do about it now? Because I'm a grown-ass woman out this bitch. Can't keep blaming him for not being affectionate. Either I am or I am. Yes, this is true. But at the same time, I can't keep bringing that up to my man. I'm going to get tired of hearing it. And this is no fiction story. This is real shit. This is my situation. Period.
Respect.
You see what I'm saying? So, and at the end of the day, I gotta fucking do better and love on my man the way his love language says that he needs to be loved on. You feel me? And vice versa. But You got to know what loins you come from first. And if it's to the point where you never can find contact with your parent or your parental figure, then you need to get fucking help for your emotional traumas and deal with it. Because what's the definition of insanity?
When you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results.
Facts.
Yep.
What are we to do when we're still 30-something years old and we have wounds that still have scabs on them and shit? What the fuck is we supposed to do? Really? That's always my question. You know what I mean? And I damn sure ain't nowhere near had any of the same issues that some of you guys had and some of our listener family has had. You know what I'm saying? So there's only so much I could speak on in terms of that. But like before my mom and my dad got married, he was married to my sister and my brother's mother first, you know, so there was a time when we didn't live in the same household. And after him and my mom got married, you know, then I basically grew up my entire life with my dad from the age of 7 on up until I left home and stuff, you know. But like before that, I knew what it was like not to have him there and had to visit him on the weekends and stuff like that. You know, I still have those memories and everything like that. But he's been in my life so much that it cancels out the before age 7. You know what I'm saying? So it was never nothing missed, even then, because my father showed the fuck up regardless, because he came from a father who showed the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Even if my granddaddy had a baby or two outside the family, he still let it home. He never left my grandmother. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, I mean, like, I just don't feel like the dedication is there anymore a lot of times. Or it has started happening where men more freely left home right around the time we were born, and see, it felt like a different dynamic. It seems now that we're older that it was a different dynamic happening, starting with the 70s and people being free spirits and, you know what I'm saying, the revolution and shit, you know what I mean? And the dynamic change with households and stuff. So I don't know, like, how are we supposed to navigate these things, and how have you guys navigated present, semi-present, or complete absent father figures or fathers?
Well, for me, oh, go ahead, Gina.
Oh,
Nope.
I was gonna say, me personally, I, have a weird kind of relationship with my biological dad. And, growing up, I was always around, my grandparents, like his mom, his dad, going on family reunions. So it wasn't like I didn't know who he was. It was just, we didn't have like a real tight relationship. So, and then my mom dated or met my stepdad, and, he took on that role as well. So I really wasn't missing anything, as far as a father figure. It just kind of sucks that we weren't as close as I would like us to be. But I ain't miss out on nothing, because I definitely had, them two men to talk to. I mean, even my dad too, just wasn't all the way, tight, cool, connected like that. But now that I'm older, me and my dad, we're very connected. I wouldn't say that we're like really close, but we definitely connected to the point where we could talk about any and everything.
Do you think that has a lot to do with like his maturity and growth as a man?
Like, to be honest, I just asked my dad, like, what happened, like, between him and my mom. Just I would always suggest anybody to ask that, like, just ask him what happened and hear him out. And it's partially his fault, partially her fault, while the relationship is the way it is. It's not all 100% on my dad. So have a conversation with your old man. Like, it will definitely, squash out a whole bunch, or, cross out a whole bunch of doubts that you had in your mind, or ideas or theories or whatever, if you even have them. Or it could just settle an argument. You can settle your heart, maybe even give you a peace of mind of why things are the way they are. You never know.
That. Settle your heart. Yeah.
Yes.
Simmer the fuck down, heart. Shit.
Yes. Simmer it down. I'd be like, stop overthinking about things. Like, you have clarity about the situation, and then you can just make it better. You know, build with your old man. Call him. If you can't go see him, call him on the regular. Ask him if he all right. Get to meet other members in his family, like his brothers and sisters. Connect with them too. Be a family. It's not that hard. Start with a conversation.
Amen to that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Stop
great
walking around mad
advice.
about crazy stuff. Like,
That shit gave me chills.
I know,
yeah,
right?
That's where I'm at in life, y'all. That's where I'm at. Like I started with having just I just straight up asked, me and my mom, we don't have a relationship right now. I asked him like, why her? Why you pick her? Like, you cool, but like she off the chain, and he laughed about it, but my dad keep it 100 with me. He always have, to be honest. Like, he always has been like he has like a very good sense of humor, always laughing, and got crazy stories to tell everybody. Like, he one of those Bill Cosby type of days. He got them stories, you be like, oh Lord, here he go with the same story again, but he got a good, very, very good sense of humor. I could talk to my dad about anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I'm older, might smuggle him in some weed and shit, Make sure Papa like to get high too. But as far as building a relationship too with his brothers, or the one that's here, my one uncle, I'm real cool with his brother, so it's like cool to also get to ask your uncle about who your dad is, who your grandfather was, like how was it growing up. Just get an idea of like why your dad is the way he is, Get some little background history, ask questions. You just never know what you hear. Like, and they be having some great stories. Like, my grandfather ain't playing no games with them boys. Just put it that way. And neither did my grandmother. She had one girl. She had a set of twins. It's 5 of them. And one set of twins. And it's a boy and girl. So the set of twins, his name is Michael. That's who I'm close with.
Okay.
That's who I'm close with. That's who I can go over there. I can go talk, smoke a little something with my uncle. Like, it feels really good to be that accepted, to be able to be completely yourself with your family. Like, I feel like that's how it's supposed to be. I wish I could have it a little bit more with my dad, but he's married, and it's like, ears and stuff around. It's probably things that he do want to tell me, but he'll have to like come over my house, which also my uncle will bring him over too. And we'll have like a whole little family thing, or we'll go over my grandmother apartment because his mom is still living. And just, have some food and talk. And, it's been a little minute because of COVID, but, I try to call her too. I be calling her on Facebook Messenger. I don't know. She got the Facebook Messenger, my grandmother, y'all.
That's crazy shit.
Yeah,
87 years old. Facebook Messenger.
I know that's right.
That's a blessing though.
Yeah, to have a conversation.
Y'all gonna make me fucking cry. I miss my grandmother. You hear me?
Yeah.
One was 89. She died when we were 21 in 04. And then my last grandmother died in November of 2017, the week of Thanksgiving. But she did get to meet Omar after he came home from the NICU. Y'all remember Omar was in the NICU. I was showing y'all on Facebook, and then and that's it. I ain't got no more grandparents, so that's a blessing. Call your grandmother on FaceTime, girl. I'm gonna cry.
I told her I'm gonna put her in the bubble. She my last one. Put her right in that bubble.
Mine's off the chain.
Can only imagine if your mom is.
That's the thing. Like, why can't they just tell us the truth? These parents. Right. That really struck me when you said that earlier about you and your dad having an honest conversation about like what the fuck happened.
Yes. What happened, Dad? Like,
What
what's up with
happened?
that?
Like getting that side of the story. I think dads don't get to tell their stories. One, because they leave, or two, because the mother keeps them from you, or you just don't know who they are. You hear more on the mom's side than you do the dad's a lot of times too. But that's just from people I know, closely who have shared that experience with me. So that seems to be like a commonality. I don't know.
It is, and it sucks.
Yeah. It's just like you don't get no closure, when you're looking for answers and you're not getting it. Yeah.
Right.
It's deep.
Situation is a little different. Like I shared in the beginning, I was raised by my grandparents. My mother left like the first year of my life to come to the US. So I was raised by my grandparents. My mother was a teenage mother. And, if you know anything about the islands, that's frowned upon heavily. My father was a little older than her, so that was frowned upon. And unlike, men that didn't want to be a part of their child's life, he actually wanted to be present and a part of. But because of the old school way of thinking and behaviors, like my grandparents literally kept him away. Like for years, I remember like he would try to see me and he wasn't even allowed in the gate. Like when he did come to see me, I had to stand by the gate and he was on the other side to see me, so that was pretty much our relationship. Like he always wanted to be a part of. And, when I was 11 going on 12, I moved here. So our relationship, he still tried to keep in contact. But at that point, with me, it was always one of those things where I had the attitude of you can't miss what you never had. You know what I mean? Like, to this day, my father is a very affectionate person. Like, he's very mushy and it makes me very uncomfortable, to the point that I kind of cringe and I, because I'm not used to it. I don't mean it in a bad way.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like you can't really miss what you never had. And it made like, even when I talked to him on the phone, the conversations would make me so uncomfortable because, he talked to me like a parent. But when you don't have that connection, and it's not because you didn't want to, it was just circumstances prevented you from it. Right. And, it's something where I didn't miss what I didn't have. So it wasn't something that I actively seeked out. I kind of avoided actually. And as time went on, like over the years, like my mother would always tell me like I have daddy issues. And I never understood it. Because she never explained it. I just never understood it. But the more like Salida always say, your only way out is to go in. And once I started working on myself is when everything really started coming to the surface. And then I realized like the lack thereof a relationship with my father, it was affecting my relationship with men. Because as you know, your father is the first introduction to a male and how a male should treat you. And when you lack that, it's like you lost in the world because you don't have anything to compare it to. So sometimes you allow yourself to be in situations where you shouldn't be in. You let people take advantage of you. You give up your power. Like a lot of times, like I would completely give up my power to somebody else because I felt like as a man, they should do this. They should be doing this, and the things that I was requiring of a man, it was things that I was capable of doing for myself. As I did the work within myself, I started to realize like everything that I'm looking for him to do for me, I am capable of doing those things myself. What I am really searching for is for somebody to love me for myself without me having to prove that love through actions and what I do and, you know, all these different things. And it took me a long time to figure that out. And sometimes, like, when you don't have anything to go off of, you overgive yourself in situations to the point that it drains your energy completely. Like, you just give and give and give and allow people to continuously take advantage of you because you lack the knowledge of how somebody's supposed to treat you. And a lot of times in situations like that, it's a fear of also abandonment.
Yes.
You know, so you hold on to situations just for the name of having somebody. I think that's why the point of life that I'm in right now, I am completely okay with being by myself and finding out who I truly am. Because for years, I allowed relationships to define me. So when I was able to break free of that and understand that I didn't need anybody and all the things that I was seeking outside of myself, I can do and capable of doing those things myself, is when like a whole new world opened up for me. So now it's like, I don't look for a man to do this. Can he do this, that, and the third? Because I could do all those things. What I want is to match my energy. You know, can you give me the same love and care that I give to you? That's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? But it's just a lot. Like, yes, your relationship with your parents really affect the adult person that you grow into. It really affected. And that's, to this day, I said it before, to this day, that's the reason I haven't had children, because I want to make sure that that situation is right, because you don't understand the impact that your decisions have on children. And granted, everybody's going to have some sort of trauma to deal with in life, but I don't want that to be one of them. You understand me? Because I've been through it. You know, it's so many struggles that come with that. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. You know, my grandparents did all they could, but it's not the love of your parents. You know what I mean? And they have like other grandkids in the house. So it was like their attention was always divided. So it's like they show you a certain level of love, but at the end of the day, it's not your parents.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Ooh.
It's a lot.
Girl.
Yeah.
But you
That was, yes. I
it's a
appreciate.
lot.
Thanks for sharing that.
Because it really
Freaking
shows.
Ludi. I know that
like,
blessed somebody's soul today.
My soul.
It
So
gave me chill.
Everybody else is a bonus. Look.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, a lot of people don't know, like, I am the way I am because of how I was brought up, like the things that I've been through. And I don't speak on it a lot. You know what I mean? Because I'm very private.
Right.
You're private. You don't want nobody judging you. You don't want nobody trying to make you feel.
Ain't her business.
You're right. But
Like sometimes you don't even want somebody to like to feel sympathy. You want them to just
Exactly.
have empathy
Right.
and understand and say, damn, friend, that's fucked up. But look at you fucking now. You got
Exactly. But now going
help somebody else heal.
Exactly. And that's why this platform was created, because somebody could benefit from the information that each one of us have to offer.
Absolutely.
Because we all been through different situations and circumstances.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's why I was so fucking mean back in the day. Because I had
too.
I had a mean ass dad. And everybody knows it, so I can say it on here without, worry about somebody gonna take it back to my father. Like, my dad's soft now because he's old. He's 76 years old. He's a lot softer. But back in the day, I was cussing motherfuckers out because that's what the fuck. I witnessed my dad doing to other people. He was cussing motherfuckers out all the time and shit.
When he was laying people that
You know what I'm saying? I learned from the best. You see what I'm saying? So, daddy issues
down the hole.
You can be real. You can have real traumatic things happen, like with, some of you ladies, and then you can have some other shit like me where, I was just cussing people out, just for
right. And to piggyback off of
behavior.
And to piggyback off of what you're saying, it's like the lack thereof when you're in relationships. It's like you can't give what you never had. So it was like you could feel love, You could feel love for somebody at your deepest level, but if you can't express it in a way that they understand it,
Right.
it creates conflict. You know, and a lot of my relationships in the past, they would tell me the same thing because I was always the type of person I wanted to accept their love on my own terms. You know what I mean? It's like not when they were willing to give it, but when I was willing to receive it.
So you had conditions, and love is unconditional. And you had
Right.
conditions on the
Right.
love.
Or, you know, like it was a natural reaction because, like I said, it's cringy because when you never grew up with hugs and kisses, it's like your natural reaction is to, you know, when somebody going to hug you, it's like,
That push back.
you know what I mean? Like, and that was just like my natural flex. I didn't think about it. It was just natural to me because even with my siblings to this day, you know what I mean? Like when my siblings come to me and try to hug me, it's like, back up. You know what I mean? Like, get off. But, you know, it's something that I actively have to work on.
Don't touch me.
You know what I mean? Because it's something that it's beyond my comfort level because I've never had it. You know, I was always being pushed away as a child. So, yeah.
There's a whole lot we could dissect in that one
conversation.
You better preach.
Girl.
Right?
Girl.
Listen,
Gave the introduction, the sermon, the remarks.
We could just pass the fucking collection
at the
plate,
benediction.
Get on up out of this hot ass church.
Go feed these kids because they hungry.
But that's real fucking talk. Like if somebody actually went to church and talked about how y'all people in the congregation is messing up your kids' lives because of your bad behavior, because your unwillingness to be authentic, to speak your truth, even if it hurts, and to communicate, you know. So communication keep coming up in all these fucking episodes, you guys. This is number 29. Yeah. So that just lets you know we can't do shit in this lifetime correctly without it.
Mm-hmm. I'm on the flip side of that because I've never had, you know, like when I say the flip side, I mean the complete flip side. Even though I have older, you know, siblings, my dad, he did say, you know, that he wanted to be at least around one of his children all their life. And I was that child. There's never been a time that I've been without my dad. Like, depending on the situation, if I need something short and sweet to the point, if I want something long and drawn out, sweet and short to the point, it's my dad. If it's long and drawn out, it's my mom. Because him, it's no chaser. It's come on, get to the point.
That's most men though. Men operate like that.
He's a cancer. And my dad was a lot more affectionate than my mom. You know, being a nurse, she kind of had to turn her feelings on and off. But my dad, he was different. He was always around. We were always doing something. If there was a sport I wanted to play, he was the first one to say, all right, Sleeta, we're going to go do it. What you want to play? I want to play softball. All right, we're going to go to the field. He'd go to the store. He'd get the glove, the bat, the wiffle ball, all this shit. And I'm like, okay, I just want to try it. And we would go do different things. Or he would get off of work, you know, growing up in Jersey, South Jersey. I have a lot of memories of him getting off early. And I always recognized his truck. I never knew when he was doing it. He would come and pick me up from school and we go get ice cream and talk. And he was playing some damn Chub Rock, Treat 'Em Right. That was his song. I think that was the going out song every single time that we went. But he taught me so much. He taught me how to be strong in a different kind of way other than what I learned from my mom. He taught me like what certain things to look for when it came to guys. And he showed me how to throw my first right hook. And he loved him some Bruce Lee. So he did jiu-jitsu. I think at the time he thought his ass was Bruce Lee from the picture that I saw. Talking a lot, you better listen because he's not going to repeat himself. he doesn't have to say that. He'll just look at you like, or the infamous this.
That's a dad pose right there.
This right here.
My dad, he used to do like this.
Real love him.
That's where you get it.
Yeah,
that's where I get this shit from.
That's it.
I know that point.
Yeah, my dad does that. He does that too. But just as much as my mom is my best friend, my dad is my best friend, because I look at it like this. Of all the things that my father has taught me directly and indirectly, there is nothing on this planet there's no amount of money that I can give to my father for everything he has done for me. It'd take 10 lifetimes. 10 lifetimes. If I can make him, my mom, if I can make their existence on this plane more relaxed, more at ease, I'm gonna do it. I work hard, not just for myself, but I want to make it easier for them, because there's nothing that I can do that's going to ever repay for the sacrifices. And we're going to talk about Buddy. there's absolutely nothing. But if I can make their existence just a little bit more better, I'm going to do it. I'll do it till my hands bleed. I'll do it till my feet bleed, because you know what they say, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days live long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. And anybody, you can interpret it any way you want to. I don't care. But for me, as long as I can take care of my parents at the end of the day, I'm good. I'm so good. But he says, if you can't keep your word, then you ain't shit. And he says it often. The other piece of advice he gives is, says, you can only control what you can hold in your two hands. If you can't control it, why are you worried about it? And then the other thing for money, he says, enjoy it, because you can't take it with you.
Damn sure.
And that's something. Yeah.
Or else the people gonna come rob your fucking grave, as they did with our ancestors in Africa and all over the world. Okay, they gonna come rob your fucking grave and get that shit.
Exactly. So there's I feel for those that did not have the same experience that I did, but I'm very understanding that life is going to throw some hard ass curveballs, but it's how you approach to hit it that makes all the difference in the end. One thing I can say, and it's on my heart to say this, how proud of Cheyenne I am. I'm so proud of you. Because Cheyenne, you could have went in so many different directions, because even though your father wanted to be a part of your life, there were certain circumstances that wouldn't allow him to. But the thing is that you didn't allow those pieces and parts of hurt to build into something bigger for today. You did the complete opposite, where it would make, and you keep going. Damn it. Because if you slip, I'll be like, no, bitch, you got to get the fuck out. We got to go do this. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes. Go, Cheyenne.
Well.
Nice.
So I am going to share my experience. I wanted to hear all you ladies' experiences. Mine is a hot mess. I am, as y'all already know, an only child, or those, if you're just first time listening, I'm an only child. So I was raised by my mother, single parent, but my dad was in my life because he had visitations every other weekend when we was living in Pittsburgh, when we was in the same city. And I just never had a connection with him. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? I could finger point and all this and that, but that's not what this is about. I just never had a connection with him. So there's been situations where I was, a little rebel. My mom put me out and I had to go live with him. And there was just never a connection. When I really look at it, we just never really connected. We wasn't interested in the same things. And I just never felt like he treated me like his daughter. So as I got older, I think I told y'all in private, I had cut him off in my college years. And so I think I was like maybe 20, 21. I cut him off right before I graduated. And then I had my daughter, I think a year or two after I graduated. And so when she was like 10 months, I went to Pittsburgh because at the time my nana was still alive and I wanted, her to see my daughter. So I called him and let him know I was there. He met us at my nana's house. So that was the only child of mine that he seen. So then, so I kind of like, it was like generic because we never dealt with the past issues that I had with him, like, because it was really about seeing my daughter and all this and that. So I think that's why I never like really contacted him, like, you know what I mean, after that situation, because it just wasn't, like, it wasn't genuine to me. So I'm trying to think. I think he contacted me. Like, this is how crazy our relationship is. When my grandmother died, I hadn't seen him, I don't even know when, but I was 19 when she passed. So it just so happened I was supposed to have been going to visit her, but she passed away like a week before I could actually, it was crazy. So my dad, we get to the funeral home because I was actually supposed to ride in the car, but whatever was going on, me and my mother wasn't going to be able to meet up with them at the same. Everybody's come from different states, so we were just like, we'll meet y'all there and then we'll go from there. So as we're in the church, my dad is walking by, shaking everybody's hands, like, "Thank you for coming, thank you," but tearing up and shit. He hit me with the "thank you for coming," and then hit my mother with the "thank you for coming," and then looked at my mother like, "Is this Ashley?" Shit felt horrible. Wow. So it's like I've always just had a not, you know what I'm saying? Like just a not good relationship with him, or non-existent altogether. So over the years, Mike has always been like, you need to call your dad, you need to contact your dad because of whatever he got going on with his situation, which I won't share because it's not my business to share. But he's always been on there, you need to contact him no matter what's going on, you need to contact him. So and we've been together for like 16 years, as y'all know. So I finally did it in January. I finally contacted him because it was just in my spirit. Like Mike was in my ear, I want my kids to know, like, you know what I mean? Like, cause even Beautiful is the only one that met him, but she don't remember. She was 10 months. She just seen the pictures or whatever. So I contacted him because he's the type of person, same like a rock, same location, same everything. Number since I was everything's the same. So it was awkward, but we talked and we talked and we talked. But even with that, it was surface shit. It was very, very surface. It was a couple hours, but it was just, we never got to the root of anything. You know what I mean? Of the issues, of the bottom line, of the problems, of anything. And like the one time that he asked me, like, well, why didn't you call? He's like, because he also always gave me this feeling of he would never come for me. He would never see about me. You know what I mean? Like I would never see him in Atlanta just pop up in my door, like looking for me or looking to, you know what I mean? Like what happened to my only child? I'm his only fucking child. So like, and I have this feeling like, and I'm a female, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it made me very, very hostile growing up, as the ladies have mentioned, just hostile, always ready to fight. hostile in my relationships, always ready to fight, like had the wrong shit going because I was also a tomboy. And so I was used to like wrestling around with the guys, but like even when I was doing that, I wasn't fighting them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where, like in my 20s, I was a little hostile. And I know all of that is just the lack of really being dealt with properly from what's supposed to be my first relationship with the male. So now, fast forward to now, because I can go all over the place and drag on with, which I'm not going to do. But fast forward to now. So I contacted him in January. He's 70. So, you know, a lot has changed since, you know, the last time I seen him. Yeah, so like since then, I probably contacted him like a few times. Like, but he does send me, like he sent me Mother's Day cards. He talks to my kids often. My daughter calls him once a week. My son's is like here and there, but he's just emotionally vacant. You know what I mean? And that just doesn't. It doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? Like now that he's older, I'm trying and I'm at least happy that my kids are, you know, have a relationship with him. They, like I told y'all before, they all have phones. So they do their thing and contact him. And I love that. But for me personally, it's just no emotion. Like I can't even explain. It's like talking to the wall. You know what I mean? You get nothing from it. Maybe like you might get some shit off your chest, but if you're expecting like some feedback, he's just emotionally vacant. Like he just won't do it. And for me, like I said, I haven't really jumped in this particular time, but it's just awkward. You know what I mean? That's all I can say. It's just awkward. And I think as a result, I look for in my mate like a daddy figure. And yeah, like I don't have Mike's not my dad, but there are some things when I think, even when listening to y'all talk, that I kind of like get from him, the lack that I didn't get from my biological father. You know what I mean? Like, no, he's not my dad, and there's no kinky shit going on like that. But this just the way that he takes care of me and see about me is everything that I've always wanted my dad to do. Come for me, come check for me, come look for me. All that. There's been all these little incidents over the years where he's always done those things, not just as a husband, but also as I feel as a father should do. You know what I mean? Like weirdly, but I've always, you know what I mean? Like this is some weird shit, but I definitely, I mean, it just sounds weird. Like this is the life I live, but just me vocalizing it, you know what I mean? Like, but it's just what it is. Like he is he's everything, to the point where even my dad acknowledges it. He sends him Father's Day stuff. And like one of his questions was, well, how many children is it? Because the last time I heard could be 3, it could be, that's how far out of touch things was. I'm like, oh bro, it's 5. So then the next question was like, okay, wonderful. So I got 5 grandbabies. Then it was like, how many dads? And I'm like, my nigga, nah, I don't talk to him like that. But I'm thinking like I did good, like 1, 1. You know what I mean? Like he was like, okay, like impressed, like the hell kind of thing. What you think I am over here? You know what I mean? But I don't know. That's why I respect and admire so much. Particularly when you started off, Sheena, with your input about just, you know what I mean, communicate. Because y'all know I'm a communicator, but it's like with my situation, it's just like, again, it's like a brick wall action. There's just no response. You know what I mean? He's very analytical and very like, even dealing with my kids, it's like, he's just so like he's a teacher, you know, well, not a teacher anymore, he's retired, but he's just real analytical. He got like savant qualities. He's very focused on a particular thing, and if it's not these few things, then like I always felt like he was looking past me. The times I was like when we was in the same city or the same state, and he had his every other weekend visitation. Like he had a girlfriend who I loved at the time. Like he would like leave me with her. You know what I mean? Which was cool because I rocked with her. There was nothing bad going on, but I didn't build no relationship with him. You know what I mean? I built a relationship with her mother. Other times we might go to some of the other females' houses. Hey, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to bust. This is just my truth. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this was a long time ago any goddamn way. But it's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I would snitch on them. I
now.
would be snitching on them then to the main. Like, hey man, we was at Faith house. We was at so whoever house. You know what I'm saying? So many different, and just because I wanted him to get in trouble, but whatever. He's like, I don't know what was done with that information. You know what I mean? She was at least mature enough not to handle it around me.
Right.
So I don't know. But yeah, it was just like I said, I always felt like he was looking past me or looking like he didn't call me on my 13th birthday, and that shit fucked me up. You know what I mean? Just so many heartbreaking experiences. You know what I mean? Like one time, this is the last story I'm gonna tell about him, but one time I hadn't talked to him. I think it was around the time he didn't call me for my birthday. Things just kind of like dragged off over the years. After that, I just really couldn't stand him. So somehow I was working at the Amico that's right down the street from the high school in the little old Diamond Lane, whatever. So he somehow called around to get this number to the job. So when I answered it, because I was my shift, I answered. And I think he had been calling when I even wasn't there. Like, it was just crazy. So I answered. And he's like, yeah, I need you to call such and such. A whole nother female, like his best friend's daughter. Man, I'm like, what? Like, you ain't even checking for me. You tracked me down in my fucking job to tell me this. Like, you're not checking for me at all. So it's like, I think some women, when they're in these situations with whatever the situation is with your dad and it's negative, when we're in these situations, sometimes we look for that same partner. Whereas I look for the complete opposite. I didn't want anything significantly nowhere near. Because like I said, the emotionally vacant, it doesn't work for me. Like I need all that. Oh, boo, whatever emotions coming out, like I need you present. And not like I'm talking to the wall, because like there's walls everywhere. I could talk to them anytime. You know, but I only have one dad, so I hate that this is my truth, but it's my truth. So, but I strive to not have that for my children. And I just looked for, like I said, somebody that wasn't perfect, but perfect for me. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? Like, so. I guess you could say I have daddy issues, but they're not ironed out one-on-one like through him, but I've like set my life up to where it doesn't affect me. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I probably need to see some help. I don't know, because I don't lose sleep over it, but there was a time when I did. But now I just was like, instead of taking all that negative energy and why he didn't do this, I'm grown as a motherfucker now. My thing is I can focus that energy on my family and whatever I felt was lacking in the family I grew up in or didn't or whatever. I can, make sure that it's not lacking in the family that I've helped create. So that's my only advice, because I can't really give strong advice. I don't think that I've healed from the situation, but I'm also not, like I said, in a heartbroken. I think I have compartmentalized. I've been like a man with this situation. Now, like I said, growing up, it was all girl and it would hurt like hell. But as now, I think I've compartmentalized the pain to where.
I think what happens is, in response to Ashley, I think what happens is a lot of times when we don't heal situations, it manifests in different ways in our life that we don't even attribute it to that specifically. You know what I mean? Like, But until you really sit down and you really go inside and do the work and you start realizing certain things, it's like a light bulb just goes off. Like, oh my God.
Right. No, I
Yep.
mean, and I think you're right. But like I said, it's just a weird thing. Like I said, because I really am emotionally detached because
I understand.
I feel like I said, I just feel like I put all that energy into my family and like whatever I can control of it. Because again, like this person is emotionally vacant. Like, and I think he's trying. Like, I'm not even trying to just dog him out at all. I think that he is trying, you know what I mean? We don't talk. Like I said, I probably talked to him since January, maybe 2 to 3 times. I've texted him here and there. But it's just you know what I mean? It's uncomfortable. And I mean, whenever he wants to talk, I can talk, but it's again, I need feedback. I'm not gonna fucking pour my heart out and dump all this shit and go in that place wherever that little 13-year-old girl. I'm not doing that if I'm gonna get nothing back.
You don't
know
feel
what
safe.
I mean? Exactly.
You don't feel safe. That's the bottom line.
And that's a really that's deep.
Right.
I need to get some help.
Right, girl. That's right.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
because you gotta heal your 13-year-old self.
Yep.
And you gotta
your inner child is crying.
Yes.
And you gotta let her go.
Yep. And
I've done it.
the crazy thing is, like, to piggyback off of what Sheena was saying, it's like, you ever seen like both your parents not necessarily together, but you know how your mother is and you know how your father is, and then it's like, how did you know
my mother say that?
You know what I mean? But it's crazy. Like, I've been around my father the least in my life, and we're so much alike. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm a person of very few words. I don't really express myself emotionally. And it's like, I'll be in his presence and I'll let him do all the talking. Like, I feel like that little girl again. Like, he sits there, although I'm not giving him anything. I'm like opposite of Ashley. Like, he does all the talking and I'll just be receiving the information.
But that's how I think it should be.
Right. But it's like,
you know what I mean? I mean, like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have to speak up at some point, especially if you feel compelled to or something's holding you back. But I don't even get that. You know what I mean? So I just have emotionally shut down.
Well, with your situation, I think
very extreme.
You know, once you start doing the work, like, you start really internalizing their actions. And I personally stopped internalizing their actions, and I start wondering, like, what was their life like that make them react the way they did to, because it's lean.
And that's funny that you say that, because out of the blue, in that 2-hour or whatever conversation we initially had, I learned so much about my grandfather that he never told me, because again, I've always been like in his presence, like not always, but when, like I said, when we was in the same state, I would be around him, but not like, he didn't pay me no attention. You know what I mean? Like, he was always paying attention to the adults in the room, or a newspaper, or a book, or
but like you said, like, looking past you,
blast. Just look, exactly.
The acknowledgement. It's the lack of.
Exactly. It was like, it reminded me of that with how Trina said, what she say? I'm looking past you. Like, that's how I felt like he always, yes. It's like everybody else. And then this is how he would get, this is why I started cutting off. So whoop, if there's any listeners out here, this is now. This is why I started cutting off everybody that was associated with him. Because as I mentioned to y'all, I think I told y'all this on the private, but my grandmother, my Nana, before she passed, was the only one still left in Pittsburgh that really knew my business. I still got family there, but not like that I talked to, or that I like a lot. So she would have the scoop on whatever was going on with me. She was my Nana, you know what I mean? Like, I told her everything at the time when she was alive. And so, like, he might run into her in the store or wherever they running, passing, and then get the scoop And then now he knows Ashley Neal.
Mm.
And I'm like, So, and I'm telling these, I mean, it was so many close family members that I'm telling, like, no, I don't rock with him like that. They're like, oh no, he's great. I'm like, to you, that's your experience with him. That's not my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking you to respect me and not tell him shit. Like, I don't want him telling everybody business. Like, he should need to pick up the phone and get it from me like y'all do. Not y'all being like the town talk gossip and shit. You know what I mean? So when they did not respect my wishes, and I'm grown at this point, I'm like, okay, boop, cutting you off, cut, boop, 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 and then boop, to the point where it was nobody. Like, there's no, and even like when he first called, he was like, call your aunt. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it. And I thought about it like, no, I need to build a relationship with you. Like, I cut these people off because of you. So let's, you know what I mean? But it's a hot mess still. But like I say, I just don't deal with it. But I do let my kids do their thing because that has nothing to do with this. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
Thank you for sharing. You didn't have to, but you did.
Thanks for listening.
I know that probably wasn't very easy for you, but
no, it wasn't. Like, I was cringing while I was listening to y'all, not because y'all said anything cringy, but just like, ooh, should I tell this part or that part? Or should I just like play it off and don't say shit and just let the show end in this bitch?
Like, I'll be quiet on this episode.
Let us
saying nothing tonight.
Right.
Saying a motherfucking thing.
Let it, when they be like, hold on now. They said it was 5. We only heard 4 talk. But I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I can do this. So thank y'all. If anybody stayed to the end to listen to all of that, thanks for listening.
Y'all better listen to
it. Please do.
Subscribe to YouTube.
And subscribe, hit that bell. Whoop.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram.
Listen, Linda, it could be so many variations. Like Ashley always says, it's a case by case fucking basis.
Case by case.
And Ashley's situation is a very, very extreme situation of emotional trauma and lack thereof of abandonment. You know what I mean? And it's one of the worst kinds, I believe, too, because like you said, when y'all still lived in the same hometown, you would be around him physically. And the motherfucker would still not acknowledge you. And so, it's a blessing that you have made it where you are today. And I
don't know if it was because I wasn't a boy. Like, I don't know. I
guarantee you it ain't
straightening.
It don't have nothing to do with you.
No stuff he been through.
No.
Whatever happened to him, we don't know. Maybe he has the emotional disorder. He doesn't know how to connect. We don't know. And nobody's telling you nothing. So all of them aunties and uncles you had that was out there, run, tell that, they should have been telling you what happened to him.
Exactly. It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Family be on that bullshit, man. I tell you what, they be trying to keep secrets.
They be acting like, oh, he didn't.
Family, like
the last I heard was shit like, I don't know why she would treat him like, or why she would ever do that. He didn't do anything to her. Obviously, there's a disconnect. There's not, what child in their right mind would just become estranged from their parent by choice? You know what I'm saying? Like, if there was no type of trauma or situation or something, then that's why I'm like, okay, since that's what you feel, because again, you're basing my relationship off of your relationship with him.
Or whatever he's telling them.
Right. I'm straight on the whole goddamn pie. Y'all can stay over there.
Yeah, I understand exactly why you cut him off. You gotta do what you gotta do, baby. Keep your sanity.
It's just difficult. But like I said, the kids, my daughter is handling it well, you know, because at first she was like, this is awkward. Now she still say it's awkward, but she knows how to like
navigate, you
know what I mean? And she's trying to do something that
at her age, that's the thing about the next generation, because although you weren't able to connect with him, that's the beauty of grandkids. Sometimes they're able to connect with them on a level that they weren't able to connect with their own children. So it's like a do-over, so to speak, for them sometimes.
Right. Right. Because that's what he was even saying when he found out how many grandchildren it was. He was like, well, even if you wasn't going to contact me for whatever reason, he's like, I'm not saying that didn't matter, but I could have at least been like bonding with the kids. And I'm like thinking to myself, I just listen.
How many times you've heard people say like, damn, my own parent didn't treat me like they treat my kids. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Happens all the time. Yeah.
Right.
They be soft as a bitch with them kids, soft as butter. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
That grandparent love is a whole different kind of love.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, listen, family, we hope that you have gained something from today's episode, and
yes,
we hope that you get help. Talk to your family members. Start digging, man. Find out what's going on. Let's see, people of color, man, especially the Black and Latino community. I hear it all the time. Like, it's always what happens in the house stays in the house. It's always that bullshit. And I don't subscribe to none of that shit, especially when it's affecting people's mental and physical and spiritual well-being. Okay? If I fuck up, I want my son to tell somebody so I can get my shit straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, this is why we here. Because ain't nobody fucking tell me.
Tell it all.
And one thing my mom used to say to me, growing up, and it didn't matter who I was with, what I was doing, I always remembered. And this is no shade to anybody on this line, anybody that's listening, no shade to you either, friend. But she used to say, you got to be careful who you have your children by.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And nobody's perfect. It don't matter how fucking shimmery and glimmery it look from the outside. Everybody got their traumas. And I think that's what she was really alluding to, is that you got to be careful of the people you connect yourself with a child, because, you don't, whatever trauma they're dealing with, it could possibly and potentially be passed on down to the child. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be like
what Cheyenne been saying from day one. That's why she has, held off on having children. You know what I mean? So, end of the day, you guys, we here now. All we can do is heal, move forward, do better by our children, and make better fucking decisions. Okay.
Facts.
Make better decisions.
Facts. And to piggyback off of what you said, my mother used to always say, you don't how you complain about family, you might go to like a holiday of dinner, or just a regular dinner, and family get the drunk and acting crazy. And she say, you see this shit? She say, you don't get to choose your family, but one time, well, sometimes more than once, but in general, but once. So choose wisely. And that always stuck with me. You know what I mean? Because again, you do get to choose your mate, your partner, but everybody else, the motherfuckers is stuck. Right. You up, then you stuck. Okay. Straight up. So just keep that in mind, which nobody's perfect. We all, you may have to choose 2 or 3 times. It is what it is. No judgment over here. But just try to think about who you are attaching yourself to, because it does not only affect you, it affects your children, the people that you're raising. We're all talking about being affected from having a dad or a lack thereof, or a mixture.
Or having one and it be some fucking trauma that he dealing with, and that shit get passed on to you, baby. Okay?
Exactly.
That's it. So we're gonna try something new tonight, and we're gonna have the spiritual shit now. Instead of, you probably already realized about now if you made it this far, spiritual shit has been moved to the end, because we want to always end on a positive note for you guys. We don't want to leave y'all feeling heavy. We want you to feel good about the rest of your week, your day, whatever the case may be. So we're going to try something new, and we're going to do the spiritual shit last.
Yeah, so I went ahead and live shuffled the cards. You couldn't see it. I did it off camera. And it says something about the number 4. So if you are into numerology, angel numbers, go look it up. You may have been seeing 4, triple 4s, double 4s. That's not the lottery number. I don't do that. I can't. I wish. So the card actually came out. It's interesting from the Moonology deck, because this card came out like maybe a week or 2 ago. Nothing will come of this situation. Avoid, of course, the moon. So those of you that have subscribed on YouTube, you get to see the lovely cord. The cord. Listen to me. The card. You know my ass
He's
is
from
tired.
New York.
Right.
Well, I'm from Jersey. It's close,
Right,
close enough.
Close enough.
But what I get from this, and not even having to go to the book, but what I'm getting for is from this itself is that there's a cycle that's about to close. It could be professional, it could be personal, it could be just about damn anything. And I'm getting, it's like, this is the last time. I'm not doing this no more. I'm finished. Somebody is putting their foot down. Sis, bro, niece, nephew, you sick and tired of being sick and
putting their
tired.
foot down.
All the way down, like on somebody's neck. I don't know who did it, who pissed you off, but congratulations, you have gotten out of the damn Matrix, out of Jumanji. Somebody rolled the dice. What was it? Was that 8 or a 5 from the game? I don't know, because we in COVID part 2. We in Jumanji number 2. Because so somebody go ahead and just roll the dice again, so we can get the hell out.
Listen, baby.
Of some sort. So
Delta variant is the second Jumanji that just came out a couple years back. We waited 30 fucking years for a sequel, you guys. Okay, this is that.
Right. Right.
Crazy.
And at the bottom of the deck for the Sacred Self-Care Oracle cards, and it says something about the bottom of the deck, and that's not something I normally do. I did shuffle these live. But if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, then you can't see it. And the card at the bottom says massage, and it's the number 34.
Hope it's a
Once
booty massage.
again, I know, right? I need one. Shit. It's for real. Yeah, massage, and the number 34 there goes that 4 again. But when you add 3 and 4, you get 7. 7 represents completion.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you get a massage, it'd be a completion, or you get a happy ending. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
Take it
on out, you guys.
Lena just woke up. Oh my goodness.
She was like, what?
Like, oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
What is
Oh my God.
doing, baby? What is
Clutching the pearls.
I know, right? So
Completion.
someone, somewhere over the rainbow or over the moon or the void of the moon is close to Edison.
The vagina. Rub one
Bro, these nephew.
I'm sorry, but I was not ready.
I can't.
Listen, y'all know me. What comes up comes out. Hey, but be proud of yourself for closing out that cycle, whatever it is.
Sound like
And go
somebody
get your
cut some
nice
soul
massage.
ties. Y'all was listening.
Somebody was doing something. Somebody about to
Congratulations.
walk into their greatness.
Snip.
Right.
And just as a small, simple reminder, we have the Lion's Gate coming up 8/8. If you don't know what it is, guess what? It's Googleable.
Yeah, will it have passed by the time this comes out? So maybe
But
we
the
can catch it next
energy
year.
from the Lion's Gate is actually felt 3 days before and 3 days after. So it will enhance your life to go look it up. And Monique is done. And that's all Mary and all the damn lambs. I cannot.
I'm done. I'm crying. I can't. I'm over all of y'all.
I got real tears. I was not
right. I got real tears.
Was a happy ending.
Now she awoke.
She woke. Oh my God.
Yes. She was high as a bitch for a minute.
Yes,
yeah, she heard the happy ending. She was like, "What?
Somebody
say happy ending?"
I think I got.
You making up for being sick. That's all.
Bruh. I'm not at 100%, and I can tell because I'm like,
you guys, ladies, tell them where they can find us at. Damn it!
Oh damn! I forgot we were still recording.
Holy shit! Listen, get on YouTube, y'all.
Well,
Fucking subscribe
I
to
forgot we
this
were
shit.
still
Okay?
on.
Subscribe, hit that
Forgot.
bell,
Y'all forgot.
well,
Right.
comment. Let
Get
us
us
know.
to 1,000 followers on
Yes.
Instagram. Come on
So
now.
we can get that swipe up, baby.
yeah.
Listen, no, we need them watch time
and
out.
sending them letters.
Right.
Yes, and
That's
send them
it.
letters.
Yes.
We need it all.
Letters, DMs.
Yes,
Whatever.
send us DMs, send us TikToks, baby, whatever. Tag us. Let us know if you like today's
Send them
episode.
letters.
If it resonated.
Topic ideas.
Okay. If you
Pull
had
up
some,
on me.
if you
Pull
had
up
some
on
daddy
me.
issues you'd like to discuss on the show, come on and send us a letter.
Right.
Women
Send
Hill
us them
Pod,
letters.
gmail.com, or you can tap the link in the bio or go to blackwomenhillshow.com. Okay, we love you, baby. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. And we out this mother sucker.